Hello, welcome to Kitchen Table Talk. I'm Libby. I'm here with my co-host Brenda and a very special guest who we will introduce in just a moment. But first, thank you to everybody who's listening, who's pulling up a chair, maybe in your kitchen, maybe not. That's okay. And a lot of you are probably new because this is only episode 2, and I'm just excited to be here with you today. How have you been? Have you been staying healthy? I feel like I've been under the weather.
My God. No, I've been feeling pretty good. I guess up until today, because listen, I tuned into the news and maybe I should not have done that. Oh my God. I know. And so I'm a little bit, feeling some kind of way about what's going on today. But, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But, I'm excited to be here. I'm always happy to see you, Libby.
Yes. Episode 2, we are already bringing in a guest. I have my friend Erica here. She's joining us as our very first guest on Kitchen Table Talk, and I will just let her tell you what you need to know for today's episode and who she is. Erica, go for it.
Well, obviously, my name is Erica. A lot of people know me as EJ. That's kind of how I've grown up and even into my adult life. A lot of people call me EJ. So I am here because I obviously, like all of you and probably all the listeners, have obviously been feeling a certain way. I was doom scrolling one day and in my algorithm, this video popped up. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I'm laughing. And then I realized that the video I'm watching, the person's wearing sunglasses. And I realized once I visually removed those sunglasses in my brain, I was like, that's Libby. And this video had how many views does it have now, Libby?
It's like close to 5 million, I think. It's by far the biggest.
I think when I saw it, it had 200,000 views or something. And I was like, what in the world? So I immediately reached out to Libby and I was like, okay, first of all, this video is hilarious, but also true. The basis of this video, in case you are unfamiliar, is just that Libby says, hey, white women, how are we going to signal to each other that we stand on the right side of history here? And I just thought it was cute and funny, but also very true, because statistically, the majority of white women voted Republican this time around and voted for Trump. And there are other white women such as myself and Libby that feel like we want to make sure that other marginalized groups of people feel safe with us, feel comfortable with us, because I feel like voting for Trump this time around kind of put you in a category where people might wonder where you stand on certain subjects of morality, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here. I reached out to Libby and I said, what can we do? I feel the same way as you. What can we do to really help? And especially if women are feeling heavy and they're feeling, weighed down by everything that's happening, what can we do to kind of uplift everybody? And she said, well, actually, I'm doing this podcast. Do you want to be a guest? And I said, of course I want to be a guest. So
yes,
here I am. And I got to meet lovely Brenda this afternoon. And I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, I just want to just say thanks to both of you. I saw the video too, Erica, and I was like, man, she totally gets it. I'm so glad to have her on our side. So yeah, that's what made me reach out as well. And it's just good to just connect with women like you who feel the pain that we do, and just to know that you're out there as an ally just means the world to me. It really does.
I think a lot of us are recognizing that we've been, while supportive, we've been doing it from a sideline role, and that needs to change, obviously. And so more and more people are waking up to this fact. Too little, too late at this point, but it's not, we have to believe that it's not the end, that this could maybe be the beginning of something better if we put our mind to it, put our words into action. And that's where this podcast kind of comes in, because I feel like it's a place that we can start these dialogues, create an example, and hopefully people maybe listen, take it to heart, bring some of that energy into their own community. So that's just, always my hope with this type of thing. And Brenda, you have been nothing but inspiration throughout this process. Before we get around to the appetizer of our meal today, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, which are Brenda and me. This podcast is sponsored by nobody. We are here because we want to be here, and nobody's paying us to be here. Right. So shout out to the sponsors. We do record.
No, sometimes you gotta give yourself a little pat on the back.
Exactly,
I love it. I love it.
Libby, I'm sitting here waiting. I'm listening to you like, what? We have sponsors?
Right, surprise.
I was like, dang, go girls.
Maybe someday, right? But no,
No, go girl.
It's
Yeah.
good to
Yeah.
like give recognition because you see people doing podcasts and you're like, oh, I could never do that. They're probably getting paid by somebody. They got productions and editors. And no, it's just we're just some women who want to be doing something different. So this is
Right.
Riverside FM that we record in. And if anybody else wants to try to get their voice out there, find a way to do it. I encourage you. So just with that, let's move to our appetizer. Today, the theme is, and we're going to bring our cards back next time, Brenda, because I loved our little card game that we had. But
Okay.
today's appetizer is joy is resistance. The idea that, even in heavy times, we can be finding joy. And so I would love to hear what you guys have been doing because I have been up and down and this week has been a down. So I need to absorb some of your joy. Please, Brenda, tell me what's been joyful in your life.
Yeah, like I told you, Libby, listen, I've been good because I've been staying away from the news. I haven't been tuned in. I knew we had the boycott coming, so I was really excited about that, and then
Yeah.
today my bottom fell out. Okay. But prior to today, listen, you know me, you already know I'm a writer. I
Oh, shoot.
love to
My
write.
internet's being wonky.
Okay. So this writing takes me away from it all. Um, if I have to sit here for hours and hours and hours, just kind of brainstorm, thinking about a new book, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, it just takes me away. So it's gonna be the writing for me. And then guess what, Libby? You might already
What?
know this, but we are starting on a new film. So I'm kind of just really engaged
Oh,
with
yeah.
with the movie things,
Yeah.
all I can say to you is this. I can say this to you. Find your purpose. Okay. Find your purpose and allow that to let you escape from all that's going on. Okay. Cause I know you tune into a lot. What's going on with the in the media. I already know you do, Libby.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
but
yeah.
just pull yourself away for a few hours and just find your purpose. We talked about books. You and I got to get down on these
I
stories, okay?
know we do.
We are going to get down on that. So that's what I encourage you to do. Erica, I mean, what have you been doing? Because that's just me. I love I know what my calling is. I love to do what I do, but I'd like to know from other women, if you don't really know what your purpose is, what are you doing?
Right. So I think for me, another kind of serendipitous reason that I'm like, my gosh, Libby asked me to be on this podcast. And then when you sent me this topic, I was like, whoa, that's really weird because I don't consider myself to be a religious person, but I consider myself to be a spiritual
Right.
person. And however you define that portion of yourself and your relation to life and death and all of that, I feel like a lot of times we're talking, right? We're talking, we're asking, we're praying, we're meditating, and we're rarely listening. And if you give yourself the opportunity to just listen, sometimes you'll get answers back. And I was asking the universe, I was like, what can I do to help? Like, how do I do this? Like, what do I do? What do I do for women? I love women. I'm passionate about women. And what do I do? And I even had people coming to me because they know how I feel. And there are other women that are like, what can we do? And once I stopped and listened, I just heard, be you. And I'm like, oh, that seems kind of silly. Of course, it would be me. But I realized how important that it actually means because my personality, like I tend to bring a lot of joy and optimism. I like to keep things fun. I like humor. I love the zest for life. Every day is a blessing. And so if I can keep that somehow and even share that with other people on the days when other people are feeling heavy, like Libby, you've had a very heavy week. Like, I hope that this and like the presence of being with women that can hopefully share that kind of energy, that's what I need to do. That's all I need to do. And some days that's really, really hard,
Yeah.
right? So for better and worse, I'm a mother of two very small kids and they keep me occupied, but I also feel like to some extent I have to put a face on if I hear something heavy and I'm like, why is mom crying again?
I get that.
But they keep me distracted, they keep me distracted and I find joy with my children. Okay, I'm going to put my phone down and we're going to walk to the park and we're going to play on the playground without anything else flooding my brain.
Yeah.
For even just 10 minutes, even if you just give your kids 10 minutes of uninterrupted time where you can be present in that moment. And we've been brainstorming how we're going to start our garden this weekend.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah. So like figuring out like what seeds we're going to plant, which also feels like a bit of renewal and growth and, something that you can like cultivate. And it feels good to focus on something like that. That's positive. You keep your routine. I've been hitting the gym and just trying to get my body in good shape to get my mind in the best shape it can be. Keeping those routines that are familiar, that make you feel like you have a purpose and you have some good spots in your day to just decompress a little bit.
Yeah.
And my kids are a big source of that. So it's good.
Your kids are adorable. They're around the same age as mine. And so I feel very kismet with you in that regard.
Yes. And my kids are such like just innate little humanitarians.
Yeah.
And like, so it's just adorable. I do my best to explain things as they're happening, just like dumb down facts for them.
Yeah.
And it's just like so sweet, their responses, because they want everyone to love and be loved and love our earth. And they're very sweet.
And at such an impressionable
I'm just
age
hoping
to
we can
develop
foster this.
empathy,
Yes.
Yeah,
which is what we need.
Exactly.
I wish I still had my babies at home, but it's just me, Erica.
I know.
You got
Oh,
grandbaby time this weekend, I saw, though.
On Sundays, I look forward to my Sundays with my granddaughter for sure.
Right.
That
And
was
you know what?
cracking
That
me
would be
up.
so
They
fun.
did like a little Nara Smith, like mini Nara Smith video. It was so funny.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
was so
God.
nervous. She was so nervous doing that, but she pushed through, and I was like, "Girl, this is good." She wasn't. She almost was like, "Grandma, don't put that on TikTok. Don't do it." I was like, "Look, all this work we put in, we have to put this out here, honey. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Telling the people love it.
That's right. Yeah.
That's adorable.
So
Oh,
Libby,
fun.
I do hope, I think with just to kind of just piggyback off of what Erica said, we want to help you bring back the joy in your life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
And
think
it.
and I think with the storytelling that you and I talked about, I'm gonna pull you away. I'm gonna pull you away from the media, and we're gonna get this story going, girl. Because I loved your story. It was just so cute, so
Yeah,
cute. So that's gonna keep us busy, okay?
I love it. Because I will do something and I'll get like a little bit into it and then sort of set it aside and just like, I'll come back to that and then never do anything. But I was feeling inspirational one day, Erica, and I just jotted down a little kid's book thinking maybe someday I'll do something with it. But I know Brenda's a writer, so I kind of sent it her direction. I was like, let me know what you think. So we're going to talk about that more. And it could be fun, right? Joy.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I just wrote a children's book.
Shut up.
We are on the same wavelength.
Seriously, we got to get together more.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Erica,
That
I
is-
have to share these little digital books with you because we think we're going to go the
Oh, yeah.
digital route. So I'm going to have to
nice.
share you. They're really cute. I sell them on Etsy, and they are really, really cute. They are.
Brenda does everything,
That
I
is so
swear.
cool. I love that.
I mention a topic and she's like, I've done that. I do that.
Right.
I'm just like, of course you do.
Yeah.
Just a of all trades.
It's great. I get it. I feel like a serial hobbyist sometimes because I'll like pick something up just to see if I can, right? Like I started doing sourdough bread like a year ago. And that one stuck around. I kind of go through spurts where I make a bunch of loaves and then I won't make anything and then I'll make a bunch. And I'm like, now I get the sourdough thing now, right? And I'm trying to like teach myself piano with TikTok videos, and I have knitting stuff upstairs that I learned how to do like a granny square. And I'm like, all right, I got this down now. It feels like you get that sort of like adrenaline rush from like picking up a project. And then as soon as it wears off, it's like time to move on to a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's okay. I like to try different things. Listen, I've been, I'm a born entrepreneur. So, if I could tell you all the businesses that I've shared, that I've tried and the things that I've done, I mean, my God, you just wouldn't believe me. You'd be like, Brenda, are you crazy? But I love trying different things. You just don't know what's going to stick, and you just don't know. You might find your passion in what you're doing too. So, yeah.
Exactly.
It's good to do that.
Do you feel like you've sort of gotten over like a fear of failure almost from trying so many different things.
Yeah, I mean, Libby, if I just off at the top of my head, okay, I would have to say probably I've started around 50, 60 businesses. I have
Holy
maybe
smokes.
5 successful businesses, and that failure has made everything made sense to me now.
Yeah.
Without that failure, these businesses could not exist. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I am not afraid to fail. Not at all. I love it actually. It's the
You
learning. It's
can
how
learn from it.
yeah.
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 That's how we got to look at this election, right?
Yeah.
We're going to learn from our failure and we're going to do better.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. We have to. It's a
Yeah.
must.
No other choice.
I was thinking about this at the dog park the other day. I've also been doing my best. So all three of us are mothers, and Brenda is now a grandmother. But we've all been through that, and we know how hard it is, right?
Yeah.
So I've been like, okay, let's normalize complimenting moms who
Yeah.
are crushing it, right?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about that at the dog park the other day. There was this woman who had a stroller with a toddler, and she had a baby strapped to her, and it was freezing cold, and she's bundled up. All of her babies are bundled up, and she's got two like Australian shepherds running circles around them. I'm like, I just had to go up to her, and I just wanted to be like, I see you, and you are crushing it.
Yeah.
Right? And like, if she's a stay-at-home mom, that might be the only adult interaction she has all day. So like, if I can make her smile in that moment and just give her like a glimpse of joy, like complimenting each other, smiling at each other, trying to talk about subjects that are joyful as much as you can,
Yeah.
because the topics obviously easily lean into the negative and into the fear. And, wherever you can kind of, even with strangers, if you can just bring a moment of joy to their day somehow,
Yeah.
give them a compliment,
Well, that's just such a good point, Erica. It's just, it's so hard. And I know when I'm out and about, and I might see somebody who, like I'll see a woman she has a purse or something that I like, just a little thing,
Yes.
just to say, hey,
Yeah.
that's really cute. I was to a point where I just didn't want to approach anybody. Like right after
Yeah.
the election, I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not saying anything to anybody, just
Yeah.
so mad and disgusted with what was going on and stuff. But I'm finding myself a little bit more when I'm out. I'm kind of engaging with others a
Yeah.
whole lot more, you guys. Really,
Yeah.
it's so important for us to do that.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That and what I try to do too is maybe have grace for people who clearly aren't feeling joy. If there's a
Yes.
service worker who just really seems like they're having a shit day,
Yeah.
grace, not, judgment on that. You
Yeah.
don't know what somebody's going through. And so if it's clear someone's really not feeling it, maybe give them a compliment, but otherwise just remember that they're human and you have no idea what they're going through.
You have no idea. It's always so funny that you said that. I was talking to my sister earlier in the week, and she was saying she went to a party city and she had this lady. She was blowing up the balloons. The helium machine was broke, and the lady was so frustrated. And my sister was like, hey, I have a party to be at within the hour,
Yeah.
And the lady was like, ma'am, I'm tired. I'm really
Yeah.
exhausted right now. I'm trying to get this done. And my sister was like, I was really upset with her. And I said, hey, wait a minute. Just wait a minute. You have no idea what she was going through. I mean, please, please just take into consideration what people are dealing with right now. It'll help you it'll help you be even a better person.
For sure.
Just just pause and just think about, hey, look, this must be pretty awful. If this helium machine isn't working, I'm sure a lot of people are in here going off about it. So,
Yeah.
just be the better just be the better person.
Yeah.
Take the opportunity to be the better person. We're gonna have to do it. Yeah.
There's a quote. Did you ever watch the show Ted Lasso?
No, I did not.
It's a cute show if you've never seen it, but there's a quote in it that he attributes to Walt Whitman, but I've read that it's not actually a Walt Whitman quote, but it goes, be curious, not judgmental. And ever since I heard that, I've tried to apply that, because when you make a judgment about somebody's attitude, it usually results in you feeling anger towards them. Like, oh, why are they being this way to me? Instead of bringing curiosity to the table, which usually leads me to a place of empathy. If I'm more curious about their situation, like, I wonder how many hours they've been on their feet, or I wonder if they've eaten today, or I wonder, if they're going to make rent this month. And then you end up in a place where you're like, oh, I get it now. And you can get to empathy easier through curiosity versus judgment. On that, we can maybe transition to our main meal topic. So we've kind of been talking about it, but I think what we want to by and large know and just discuss is what can we do now, right? That's a meaty topic. What can we be doing that, because it's just like, who's stopping this? Who's going to do something? But where do you even start as the average citizen? And I'm not saying we have answers, right? It's just we're facilitating a discussion here in the hopes that maybe discussions will happen out in the wild, and along the way, people can find the right way to contribute to the communities and the causes in the way that suits them. Because there's not a right answer, right, of what we can be doing. It's just, if we're going to have an impact, it feels like we have to talk about it as a collective.
Yeah.
Instead of everybody just trying to do their own thing.
Yeah, I think well, this is a good start. This is a good start with us just having these conversations, because we get a chance to see. I get a chance to see, what are you doing in Minnesota? What's going on there. And then, Erica, where are you from, Erica?
From Minnesota as
You
well,
too?
yes.
Okay, yeah. So I get a chance to see, hey, what's going on there. And then you all can see, hey, what is Brenda doing in St. Louis? And for me, for so long, Libby and Erica, listen, I have been at this for quite some time, and
putting in the
it is
fight.
all about it's all about my community. It is about uplifting my community. And just even today with the boycott and everything, we've been going hard all week, making sure that we shut it down. We got people out there, of course, who are like, this isn't going to work, and, stop. It just doesn't make sense. Look, all of that, we're going to ignore it, and we're just going to keep on pushing and doing what we can do. And so I love that this boycott is taking place. But in the meantime, what am I doing? I'm actually, I'm teaming up with some new Black businesses in St. Louis. I'm helping them push their business. I'm investing in their businesses. We're helping, we're spreading the word. We're getting people on board. We need support. We really do. We have to support each other. And I'm excited about it. I'm working with women. I'm sorry, you guys, everybody know I'm all about empowering women. So, so it's about women businesses. And we started, I don't know if you saw my post or not, Libby, but I just put out the bundle. Yeah, she makes cakes and stuff. Yeah, we're pushing her business today. I'm working with a pickle lady. She makes some awesome pickles and stuff. I'm working with another lady who writes books. So yeah, I'm finding businesses that I can help. Fantastic. Because I do believe we're going to get to the point where we're going to have to shut it all down. We're going to have to shut it all down. We cannot continue to support people who do not support us. Mm-hmm. And so it's my goal to just really work with business owners who I believe in and who believe in me. So that's what I'm doing for my community right now.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And I think because we're in a place where capitalism has taken over in the worst possible way, the collective dollar is how we're going to throw our weight around. And so boycotts, being conscious about where you funnel money. The boycotts have the biggest impact when they're organized.
I think we just have to understand our power. We have the power. The people, we have the power. And that's what makes me so mad about everything that is going on, is just the people. We do not understand our power. We're so afraid to make these moves that we have to do. We got to start somewhere. We can't, of course, shut down all of the businesses, stop. Of course, we can't do that. But one at a time, we can just approach this thing together.
See that? Just that collective mindset itself is very powerful.
Yeah.
To know that there are other people out there that are feeling the same way that you are and that want to make some sort of difference somehow, right?
Yeah.
And for me, very similarly, I'm a big Target girl. I always have been. Yeah. I loved that it was from Minnesota, let's go. It's always been, it was a huge supporter of Pride Festival here in Minnesota. 50 grand, I believe, is what they used to sponsor Pride Festival. So very proud of Target, very proud of being from Minnesota. And unfortunately, they rolled back their DEI initiatives and showed their true colors behind the rainbow flag they were waving. And I just I feel like it made me so frustrated and confused by what like I thought about this company that I've loved for so long. And truly, since then, I have not bought anything from Target.
Yeah.
And
Same.
I was literally one of those people that was there every other week at the least. That's where I buy my shampoo. That's where I buy some groceries. That's where I buy everything. So I'm like, you know what? I'm mad. I don't want to buy from there. Granted, if we had to find the ethical companies to purchase from, there'd hardly be any left, right? Like,
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, small businesses are a good start. Like, it almost just feels like everything is corrupt in some way, and like we're not going to be able to buy from anywhere,
I
right?
know.
So it's just,
Right.
but making those decisions and trying to take into account how your morals and values affect the way that you're spending and who you're giving your money to, even that can make a difference. Just the small things to chip away at.
Yeah.
Can really help, and especially help small business owners.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, that's just because it is going to take all of us, really coming together to get things done.
Yeah.
One of the things, with me, I was Walmart, Erica. I was not so
Yeah.
much Target. It's Walmart is so close to me. So I was like, hey, I got to go to Walmart, got to go to Walmart. So I was thinking about my necessities and stuff like, what do I do? I'm so, I'm always trying to think, how can I not go to Walmart even when I need necessities, And so I was thinking about a lot of my products, a lot of things, merchandise that I use for my businesses comes from China. A lot of people don't know that, but it does. It comes from China. So I reached out to some of the connections that I've made in China, and I was like, hey, can I get toilet paper from you guys? Can I get laundry detergent,
That is
toothpaste? What
creative.
can you get?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you guys would really be surprised. I mean, they were like, yeah, yeah. And I asked my husband, I said, can we like buy a big warehouse and just start selling all of the necessities out of the warehouse? Can we do that? And then I was like asking my team of women, I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, can we all get together and let's rent out a big warehouse and have all of the necessities inside. This will stop people from having to go to Target and
Right?
Walmart and any place else or Amazon. It can be done, ladies. I'm telling you, it can be done.
Brenda,
And I
here
was
Mhm.
we
thinking,
go.
like, want to even do this? Do I want to do it? So just stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
I am excited to hear how that goes. That is such a good idea.
Yeah,
And it's just like
yeah,
Yeah.
I love to see people get creative too and what like this is sort of your expertise area, like business and logistics, and you're like, how can I put that to use, right? And Erica, you are recognizing that maybe I don't have, a ton to give in one department, but I can give over here with my time and my energy. Erica, did you guys see the video of the woman in Idaho at the town hall who was a doctor and she spoke up and she got drug out of there by men?
yeah.
So I imagine when you saw that, you were as angry as I was, right? Just fired up and like, if I had been there, I would have done something. And I got on my
Mhm.
high horse about it a little bit. But then I saw a different perspective from a Black woman on TikTok who was not advocating that, like, if you had been there, you should, like, obviously step in. But she pointed out that this tends to be why when Black women or Black people have done these sorts of good trouble public displays of defiance, right? They're more planned out. They are not in the moment. And a Black woman would not have been drug out of there by herself because she would have had sisters there already saying, I'm going to say this, you're going to have my back, right? And so this is where those of us who have the fire, we need to find each other. We can't let
Yeah.
if you're going to go to a town hall where there's a good chance you're going to get pushback and you're going to get some bullying or worse, bring back up, bring some liberal men if you have to, but have a plan because the good trouble is effective when it's more organized, when it's thought out, when it has a purpose instead of just fiery in the moment. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to speak my mind because that people get hurt that way. And so while I love energy of like, we need to do something, we also need to be smart is I think what I learned from that whole situation.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed about it. I really was. And I was thinking the same thing, man, if I was there. I just don't understand, like with me, in a situation like that, planned or not, they would have had to take me out of there too.
Yeah.
Okay. Planned. Because there is no way. I don't know how people sit there and not do anything. It just puzzles the hell out of me. I'm sorry, it does. And while I do believe the young lady you heard or whoever it was who said it, I believe it's correct. We would have been more strategic in it, been planning that moment. Most of the time, when people were taken out and they're hauled off to jail, they usually have funds where you
Right.
can get out of jail, so you can get
Right.
out right away.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people take chances doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was hard for me to watch, and I think I was angry at the people who did nothing. And I would have been going to jail with her. Honestly, I gotta say, for real,
Yeah.
I would have been.
Well, it's hard to know when you're in that situation for somebody like me because I am a natural peacekeeper. I am a natural empath. I like to find the good in all people. And when something like that happens in real life and I'm present, I think I'm so taken aback that I literally don't react because I'm like, how on earth could you possibly do that?
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not acting because I'm afraid of being also punished for that. It's I'm literally just shocked that someone could be that inhumane, right? So I found myself in these situations before, and I've been trying to ask myself, how in these situations will I know that I'm brave enough to join that fight, right? Because the other day I was at Lifetime, and there's this guy who parked his hotshot little car in his red and black car in this expecting mothers and parents with small children parking spot.
Yeah.
And it was that day that was Brenda, you wouldn't even know what kind of weather we've had in Minnesota, but it was negative a million degrees outside. It felt like
Nasty.
your boogers are just immediately freezing in your nose. I've got my 3 and my 5-year-old, and we're running to my car, which is halfway across the parking lot. And I see this man. I am next to this man that's getting into his little hotshot car in the expecting mothers and people with small children parking space. And you know what I said to him? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I said nothing.
I bet you thought about that the
And
rest of the day.
I thought about it. I'm still thinking about it. This is 2 weeks ago. But the thing is with me, I have so much to say, and I got in my car, and as soon as I got in my car, I'm like, I should have said blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's easy. My point is that it's easy to think in those situations that you will be the hero, that you will use your voice, that you will put yourself on the line for what you know is right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't take into account the fact that you might freeze
It's
it.
I was texting my girlfriends after I saw that video, and I was like, something we can do is mentally prepare now for those situations so that if you just sort of think through, my mind goes all day long. It's just scenario after scenario. What would I do? What would I do? And so I try to just be prepared for anything I might see in the wild so that when I see it, it doesn't catch me so off guard. And I have maybe a line or something that I could stand up and say, or a plan of action instead of just a freeze response, right? And so that's where, again, just starting conversations about the reality of where we are. This is the kind of stuff we're going to see in front of our faces more and more, unfortunately. And so if you want to feel more secure in what you might do in the moment, just start mentally preparing for it now and be ready to be uncomfortable, because it's so uncomfortable. And that's why a lot of people hold back, because it's so uncomfortable.
Right.
And I think that's what I was getting at too, Libby. I think you actually just phrased that perfectly
Sorry.
well. It's being prepared. No, I think that was perfect. Just being prepared, because really nothing should throw us off guard anymore.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be surprised by anything anymore.
True.
Right. So the fact that I even went into shock that some guy parked in that parking spot, I should not be shocked by that.
Yeah.
And I should have something to say to people like that, because that's not the first time I've seen somebody that did not have children and was not pregnant park in those parking spots.
Yeah. I like the idea that we should start being a whole lot meaner, I think.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Listen,
No
Libby,
more playing nice.
the top. I'm at the top now. I'm not nice anymore.
I'm
Yeah.
kind. I'm not nice.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Uh,
thing. I think it's just so drilled into women
yeah,
to keep
that's
sweet
it.
and smile and please everybody all the time.
Yes.
But it distracts us from facing, going against the grain,
Yeah.
right? Facing those things that we are like, no, that is not right.
Yeah.
And we need to speak. We're done smiling
Yeah.
through this, right?
Yeah. Being aggressive, that's not an insult to me. Being loud, that's not an insult. Having opinions, we're allowed to have all that. The patriarchy has used women's emotions and tendency to be empathetic against us for so long, between the angry Black woman trope
Yeah.
to the, emotional, women are too emotional. And it's like, that ain't a bad thing. That's
Yeah,
a bad
it's
thing
not.
to have feelings.
It's
And
not.
we're going to be using
We're
our
all gonna be,
advantage.
we
Here.
are all going to be tested. We're
Yeah.
going to be asking ourselves in a very short period of time, will the real us please stand up?
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna have to. You can see it coming. You can feel it coming. You can
Yeah.
feel it coming. Yeah.
Well, and Brenda, I feel like it's not even just the fact that you are a little older than us. It's that you're like, I'm not nice anymore. I'm already here, right? It's like you have unfortunately had a lot more practice
Yes.
facing adversity. You're like, I was sick of this stuff 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like whereas we are two suburban white women that are like, we've opened our eyes, Libby, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is like new information for us.
Yeah.
So like, let's go. And it's like, you're like, I've been fighting this
Yeah,
battle.
exactly. Exactly. And I totally get that because I put out a question on social media the other day. I said, have you prepared your children for what's coming?
Mhm.
And so I'm so proud that I've prepared my children for what's coming because they're going to have to fight this battle. I'm getting
Mhm.
tired, you guys. I have to
Yeah.
be honest. I'm getting real tired. But it's who I am. It's in my blood.
Yeah.
I can't stop this thing. I can't
Yeah.
stop it. It's going straight ahead. But I'm mad.
Yeah.
I'm to my, I've reached my point where yeah, I'm upset about a lot of things. I'm angry. I am. Call me the angry Black woman. I don't care. I don't
Mhm.
care anymore. I used to care. I don't care
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
As you shouldn't. And I think that's an interesting point too, Brenda, that you make is like, you're preparing your children for this. And I think statistically, it shows that like, normally people of color that have children of color are talking about these hot topics way younger than white people are. I feel like I did not hear about white privilege. I'm kind of mad at our education system, to be honest. I don't really know who to blame in this situation, but I'm like, I lived a colorblind life until I went to college, thinking that like literally women's rights and civil rights movements were of the
Yeah.
past and we have solved all of those problems and we live in this wonderful, that's literally, I went to college and it felt like my world went cracked in half and all of this information is like the Matrix, take the red pill or the blue pill, right? Like you can live in oblivion as a white person very easily.
Yes.
Yes.
Very,
Yes.
very
Yes. Each
Yeah.
generation is going to have to fight this battle.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so you have to prepare your children. I mean, my granddaughter, she's 11, Libby and Erica, she's 11. I'm sitting down having these conversations
Yeah.
with her. She's asking me questions, and I'm very open. I'm very honest.
Yeah.
I don't care what they're not teaching at school. I don't care. We're going to
Yeah.
teach it at home.
Yeah.
We're going to teach it at
Absolutely.
home. So that's how we are. And it's unfortunate. I remember the first time my son, he had to, I don't know if you guys remember the situation with Mike Brown. He was shot and killed here in
Yeah.
Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I saw my son, he was like, I'm going out with a bunch of my friends. We're going to march because this isn't right. And I remember when he left that day, I just cried my heart out
Yeah.
because I said, we're still here.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
still have to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have to fight for this. And it just broke my heart. But it was just me realizing that, yes, this continues. It's
Yeah.
never going to stop. We have to keep it going. So you have to educate your children. And, I'm gonna be able to relax and rest and take my
Yeah.
breaks when the time comes. But, I'm gonna be here to the very end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
We
fighting
appreciate
this
you
battle. Yeah.
willing to teach people like us, because it's not your job to, certainly. But I know there are, me and Erica, and there are others who want to learn to do better, be better, from anybody who's willing to share their experiences. And we're fortunate now to know you, and you are willing to share what you've been through so that we can continue to learn from the fights of the past and present, and be in it together for the fights of the future.
Yeah. I appreciate that really, it means the world to me. And I mean that. I really do mean that. I love speaking to people who get it, people who understand,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
the
not
best.
gonna help you back. I'll
Answer.
cuss you out and do whatever I have to do if you don't understand. But 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 yeah, I just love speaking with women, especially the women who get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can always be doing
Yeah.
better, and just being receptive is half the battle, and if you say something to me, if you're going to correct me on something, I'm not going to be like, screw you, Brenda, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'll say, yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for telling me. Thank you for teaching me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
And in that,
I mean, it's my experience, just like you all have your experiences. I
Yeah.
can't tell you, hey, how you should feel about something. And I think that's just one of the biggest mistakes, is that we tend to, you don't know my life.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't walked in my shoes. You don't know what it's like to be a Black person. So
No.
to just, to even weigh in and pretend that you do and not listen, like you guys have said, just listen. If you
listen.
listen, you can learn so much. You can learn so much and not sound like fools.
Yeah.
So many people are sounding so foolish.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I think that's, part of the problem right now is like realizing the lack of empathy out there because of people's inability to put themselves in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah.
Something that you learn as a kid is like, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. How come we've lost that notion?
Yeah.
How are you unable to see what this other person that looks differently from you sees? Talk to that person, listen to that person, and learn from that person.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. Yeah.
All right. I like what we covered there, guys. That was good stuff for our main meal. Maybe before we move into our dessert topic here, I'll give everybody a minute to shout out their handles. Anybody who's interested in following me beyond this podcast, I'm very active on TikTok at Libby Ray Lou. I'm also on Blue Sky. I believe that's Libby Lou Who over there. And I'm also on Instagram at Libby Lou Who 2, TOO, because Libby Lou Who was already taken. So where can
Okay,
we find you guys?
I just send people directly to BrendaMHampton.com. You're
Yeah.
gonna see it all there. Everything is tied there. Just go there. You'll learn a lot. You'll see a lot, and I hope you follow me on all of the social media platforms, because I got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Yes. Instagram, I am just at Erica Jarnes. That's my maiden name, Jarnes. And I'm Erica with a K, which my little Scandinavian side's coming out, my Swedish side in there. But on TikTok, This is Harvey Do It. My husband created that one for me. And I'm not as active on TikTok, but I do like to go on there every once in a while for a fun video. I do, Brenda, we didn't even mention this. Libby knows this about me, but I have my own little business as well, woodworking. So so you can find me on Instagram under my business page as Tattered Timber.
Oh,
And
I like that.
thank you. I try my best to repurpose things, repurposing wood and such like that to make new stuff. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
I have a special place in my heart for women business owners. I just love, love, love women who just say, look, I can do this. I can do it. And then they try it. And then just whether you make money or not, it's just doing it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's
Yeah.
just the way that you've taken the time to even do it. So kudos
Yeah.
to you.
Thank you.
Snaps for
Thank you.
Erica.
That's for all of us. We're doing pretty good,
Hell
right?
yeah. All right. Well, for dessert, I made Erica bring dessert. I told her, it's up to you. What do you got for us? And we're going to have some fun. So, Brendan, I have no idea what this last segment is going to encompass, and I'm looking forward to what you've prepared for us.
Okay, so just a warning for you, Brenda, because I'm still kind of new to you. Never ask me to do something unless you're ready to heed the consequences.
I knew you were perfect.
I came up with this little segment. Yeah, exactly. And like, so when I watched your first episode, Brenda made a comment like, "Are we getting messy for dessert here?" And then I looked over at my kids. I was watching the podcast, and I look over at my kids. They're eating these chocolate chip cookies, and they just have chocolate somehow all over their face, their shirt, their everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, dessert is kind of messy. So I'm here to serve up a little bit of mess. And I decided to call this segment Chopping Onions.
Okay.
And I will explain. I mean, I know we don't like typically eat onions for dessert, but in this case we are.
I like it. It's on
So
theme.
chopping onions. Yeah. Are you guys familiar with the onion?
The news,
Like the
satirical news.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Brenda, are you familiar?
What is it?
The onion.
Is it a just
It's a news source. It's been around for a really long time, but it's satirical news. It's like it's purposely fake, funny news articles
No,
that they.
I've never heard of it. No.
So it's been around for a long time. I love parody. I love satire. I don't know what it is. The slapstick humor and that kind of stuff gets me. So I've loved The Onion for a very long time. And so the whole purpose of this chopping onion segment is I am going to read a headline and you tell me, is this a real headline that has recently happened, or is this an Onion article? Is this fabricated by The Onion or a source similar to The Onion?
Sure.
And I was originally going to have you guys, I was like, we're all in the kitchen, right? Like, well, not like shut myself away from my kids, but if you have in your kitchen an onion and a knife, we could like have you just hold one of the two up, but then like, we're all going to look like serial killers. So maybe we'll just talk about it. But you can say if you think, okay, this is a fabricated news source that's trying to be satirical and funny, or is this real life?
Okay.
Are we chopping this onion? When I chop onions, I cry like a baby. So is this a real thing that is going to bring tears, or is this satirical onion-worthy writing?
I'm ready.
Okay. First one is, I'm going to start out really calm here. Okay. First one is, the Duolingo owl is dead.
What do you think, Brenda?
I think that could be true. Yeah, that's a real story. Yeah,
I think that one's real too, because I feel like I heard about that.
Okay, so that one is true. So that we would have held up our knife for that one. We're chopping onions.
Go,
You guys both got it right.
Chronically online.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. I'm like, Libby's probably gonna ace this test. But the whole story behind this Duolingo is an app that are you guys familiar with that?
Yeah, it's like you learn languages on it, right? It's for like learning a language.
You learn language. Yeah, it's like a Babbel or something. You learn a new language, right? So the Duolingo owl is dead. If you actually Google it right now, you'll see their typical mascot, but he's got like X's over his eyes. And the creator of Duolingo came out and like read a eulogy for the owl. That was like he got hit by a cybertruck. So
just trolling Elon.
Absolutely trolling Elon. So it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna maybe do these mass deportations over here, so you won't need to learn another language, right? So Duolingo's dead.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I thought it was very creative of Duolingo to do that, and a great marketing strategy.
No kidding.
Okay, second one. The president has framed his mugshot, and it is hanging just outside the Oval Office.
That's true. That's a fact.
That is true.
God.
I didn't even let Libby answer. I couldn't save it on my face. I'm sorry.
Maybe, do you think it's not true?
No, I have no doubt.
I know. Oh my gosh. I mean, the reason I thought, well, my husband helped me think of this segment, but the reason I thought of this segment is I'm like, when I'm on my Instagram algorithm, I'm like, please tell me this is satirical.
Right?
Please tell me this. And then it's another fact. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's a little tricky. President Trump plans to sell $5 million gold card visa to attract rich foreigners.
I know this answer, but I'm going to let Libby go.
So it's too on brand to even be false. Like, that has to be true. God.
It is true. And the reason I said that this one is tricky is because it actually was an Onion article topic.
Yeah. Shut up.
And then I saw it unfold in real life.
Oh my God.
It's true.
So
I saw that. I saw the video with him talking about this, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry. Are you kidding me?
Yep. Yes. This is real.
Yes.
Okay. RFK Jr. vows to make measles deaths so common that they won't be upsetting anymore.
I honestly don't even know. He just said the other day that measles outbreaks are common. I would believe that that's a quote from him.
I have to say, I'm not sure, but with this man, girl, it has to be real. It has to be.
So the funny thing is that one's actually an onion.
Oh, thank God.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it's not that far-fetched. So it's believable. I came up with some believable headlines here.
Because
what if we actually believe that, because of this clown.
Yep.
Because of what we know. They're talking about canceling. Well, I don't know if they're talking about canceling, but there was a meeting to figure out flu vaccines for next year. And they canceled that. So it's are we even going to have flu vaccines next year? Are we just saying good luck to the population and letting eugenics take care of the rest? What is happening here? God.
Erica, I was doing good, girl. I was feeling good. Now you got me over here
keeping count. Are you guys keeping count? How many of you? Right. I forgot to keep count.
We're all losing in this scenario, I think.
Here's the hint, guys. Here's the kicker. We're all losers here. I'm kidding. Okay, next one. Trump fires the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts members of the board and appoints himself as chairman.
It's a fact. It's a fact. Unfortunately, it is. I'm watching news.
Are you doubling?
Yeah.
Are you doubling down, Libby? Or
I feel like I heard about that. I'm surprised he's even allowing the Kennedy Center to continue to exist, quite frankly.
But some of them resigned. They resigned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of art canceled. That is true.
Yeah.
Brenda,
you are crushing
girl,
it.
you are acing this test.
I promise you all. I'm not watching the news, Libby. I'm not.
You weren't watching anything.
I'm just hearing things along the way.
It's impossible to stay out of it because it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts did not align with what he believes our performing arts should be promoting. I think specifically there were drag shows and things performed there. If you don't know what Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts is, it's a huge historical building in Washington, D.C. that is obviously for performing arts. And there have been some liberal things that have come through there, obviously being in the art world. And he fired everybody that was trying to promote a certain agenda. And he appointed himself the chairman because he's so artistically inclined.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of people who, like Issa Rae and Shonda Rhimes, they canceled their memberships and all of that. So that's how I heard about it. That's how I heard about it.
Shonda's always
and a lot of
standing
people
on business.
Always. Yep.
Okay. Elon Musk signs a 15-year, $500 million life DNA extension for himself.
Oh, Jesus. I hope that's fake. That's fake, right?
Yeah, please, I think we're going to, again, girl, just don't tell us this is true. Please don't tell us this is this.
But I came up with a believable headline, didn't I?
Yeah, believe it.
We'll probably go with the headline for tomorrow, honestly. That's probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
Lord, I know I actually have been known in my family to be a bit of a jinx, so I hope I'm not jinxing that because that seems very believable. But that is an onion-worthy headline.
Yes.
For now, anyway.
Probably not far off. Seriously, probably not far off.
Don't give him any ideas.
Elon, if you're listening, no, just kidding.
Right.
God, I hope not.
Okay, I have 3 more for you.
Let's
Let's see how we do in the final races here. Trump administration gives schools a deadline to end DEI programs or risk losing their federal funds.
That's real.
That is true.
It is true. Libby, something that hits home. So Libby and I actually went to the same college, and something that hits home, I don't know if you heard about this, but St. Thomas had to end their scholarships for people that were pursuing education degrees to help with special ed programs. They were going to school to become special ed education teachers, and those grants and funds have now been kaput.
That breaks my heart.
So I think what people don't realize with DEI too is there are certain things that come to mind when you think of DEI, but DEI includes any marginalized group,
Yeah.
which is
Absolutely.
women, which is people of color, which is disabled people.
Right.
So many people fit into this DEI category.
Yes, for sure.
And so things that you don't think of, like special ed, cutting those funds,
Yeah.
that falls under DEI.
Yeah. Oh my God. I heard
So that's a
somebody
real
say
one.
DEI should really be referred to as diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility.
Yes.
People leave off accessibility. But
But then they still won't get it. Everybody just thinks
Oh, yeah.
it's about Black people. It's so much bigger than that,
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Yeah.
It honestly
exactly.
feels like they just took critical race theory and said, well, critical race theory only exists within an academic spectrum. How can we make it apply to businesses? And they switched the word over to DEI. Not that they're even remotely similar, but it's the latest dog whistle.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when I'm seeing all these videos with people, like losing their jobs and stuff, and they're saying they voted for Trump. Oh my God, I am trying to have empathy for these people. You all, I am. I really, I am. I just listened to a lady this morning, and she was crying, and I just I couldn't help but say, I love this for you.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm so sorry. I love this for you. And I don't like to feel that way. I really don't. But yeah, it's like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
I
learning
feel like,
opportunity.
yeah. I think the ironic thing with Trump is that he's a pathological liar that has kept all of the promises in his campaign so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
he told you.
he told you, he spelled all of this out, and you voted for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe people were calling his bluff because he does have a history of
Being a big fat
fabrication.
liar.
So
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
true too.
It's hard. Okay, I got two more for you guys.
I'm ready.
Trump renames the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America and Gaza to Trump Gaza.
I know the Gulf of America thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Gaza thing.
So
that's
that
why I'm gonna
AI
say
video.
that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Oh, Erica's looking like. Oh.
So this is, for the moment, this is an Onion-worthy headline, but he did release that. This is why I came up with this headline, because he released a video. Brenda, did you see that video at all or no?
I did. I saw the video, but I remember. I know the Gaza thing. That was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Did you saw the video with him with the Trump? He's rebuilding everything. I mean, did he really post that? They said he did. Oh my God.
He did. So I find myself constantly fact checking. I don't
Yeah.
believe information given to me from any source immediately. I'm on it. I'm
Right.
checking.
Me too.
It's right there on his page. It's right there on his page. And yeah, it's a very poor taste. It's just showing a land that's been absolutely destroyed and people that have been murdered, and taking it and turning it into some sort of millionaire's oasis.
Yeah, I saw it. I just didn't believe it, but since you did the research on it, he did post it. What a shame. What a shame.
And the only thing that gives me hope in that situation is that I did kind of dig into the comments section of that, and there were a lot of people that said, I should have voted for Kamala. Or like, I've been historically a Republican and this is horrible taste. And it's like, okay, good. Yeah. If we can get some of these, maybe right side thinkers to reevaluate, I don't know what it's going to take, because it's taken a lot of stuff. And if you still don't see it, you're not paying attention. But, if it's going to take something like that to make people realize, like, wow, what kind of person would post that?
Right.
That's
exactly. I'm still seeing a lot of support for him.
Totally. Yeah. And yeah, that doesn't take away for definitely the avid supporters, but hopefully it's making some of the people that were, I don't know, maybe questioning it, hopefully it's turning some of them, because that's all we can really hope for, is to get people to think, hopefully change their mind. So yeah, that for now, that is an Onion article. I have one last one for you guys. Right. Elon Musk tells federal workers to share 5 things they did last week or face being fired.
That is correct.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did that. I want to know 5 things he's done. How do I get
Yeah.
him to email that?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So the funny thing that I've kind of heard about this is it kind of backfired in his face a little
Good.
bit, because obviously there was like huge wave of emails that went, and I'm like, who's going to sit there and read all those emails? No one's sitting there reading those and judging if those tasks are worthy and then firing that person, right?
Yeah.
So the other funny thing about that is that email address that you're supposed to send those 5 things to was publicly released. So a lot of little social vigilantes
way.
are sending in like
Oh my
5
God.
they accomplished this week, and it is just, it's great.
I love when people do that
Yeah.
sort of like malicious compliance and, you know.
Yeah, I've been seeing some posts where people are asking. Yeah, I sent it to my husband or my wife and asked what is name 5 things that they did last week to benefit our marriage or whatever.
boy.
It's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's really, people been kind of playing with it, but these guys are serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're serious.
This was so great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to get on the recording before we close out. I think just thank you everybody for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed episode 2 of Kitchen Table Talk and our guest Erica. Thanks again for joining us, Erica. And if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section on wherever you're listening to this episode. And we hope you join us again. Bye.
Bye.